Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for this 11 a.m. PNM media briefing regarding weather-related outages expected today, plus the possibility of a PSPS. My name is Jeff Buell. I'm the Director of Corporate Communications here at PNM. And today I'll be joined by Mike Mertz, who is the Senior Vice President of PNM Operations, Umnai Warner, who is the Vice President of Operations and Engineering. We also have some invited guests whom I will introduce following comments from Mike Mertz. At this time, I will turn it over to Mike. He will show up on camera, and I'll put myself on mute while he speaks.
Thanks, Jeff. Can you hear me okay? All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it. I want to start off with just a brief discussion that any decision to turn off the power to any of our customers and communities is extremely difficult, and it's not made without extensive analysis of a number of factors we've monitored closely over the last week in making any determinations that this weather system poses an extreme risk to these communities. So we know that electricity is absolutely critical to our customers, and safe and reliable power is always our goal. Ultimately, though, we believe that the safety of our community is at risk, and we must do our part to avoid the type of devastation that we've seen from wildfires firsthand in our states and other parts of the country. Our number one priority is and always will be to return every customer to service with safe and reliable power as quickly as possible. So I will provide some updates that I have as of literally 10:55 this morning. I have updates for each of the three key areas that we've discussed in meetings yesterday, which are Las Vegas area, Santa Fe area, and the East Mountains area. So I will start with the Santa Fe and Pueblo of Cochiti area. And based on the current weather forecasts and risk monitoring, we are no longer expecting to implement a public safety power shutoff in this area. I would reinforce that we are moving forward with settings that will make the system in the area more sensitive. So what we are doing is that we will disable the system from automatically trying to re-energize power if something like a tree or if debris were blown into the power line. We will set it to, if it de-energizes, it will remain de-energized until we can inspect the line and ensure that we are not in a situation that could create a fire risk. So with that, while we do not expect to implement a proactive public safety power shutoff, we can expect the potential for outages related to the storm that could be longer in duration and be more widespread than we might normally expect during normal system conditions. Second, I will provide an update on Las Vegas. Las Vegas as well, the risk scenario has improved, and we are no longer planning to implement a public safety power shutoff for this area as well. That also comes with the additional point that we are and have implemented additional settings on the system as well, similar to what I described for Santa Fe, that will make the system more sensitive and will necessitate a physical inspection of the lines if we have a situation where something comes into contact with the equipment. So we will expect also the potential for extended duration outages. Last but not least, for the East Mountains, a public safety power shutoff is currently planned for this community to be initiated at 12 p.m. that we anticipate would affect approximately 10,500 customers. However, conditions are improving, and we are monitoring the system and conditions real time as cloudiness and other risk parameters that influence the risk have improved over the last several hours. So we are still in a scenario where we could elect to not move forward. However, we want to ensure we provide the appropriate notifications because as of right now, we are planning to move forward at 12 p.m. for a public safety power shutoff in the East Mountain area. That region, if it stays energized, we would be in the condition with more sensitive settings and the surrounding area as well. But right now, the plan is for a 12 p.m. Public Safety Power Shutoff. So I will also just to remind all of our customers as well that we do anticipate weather-related outages potentially in areas well beyond the locations we are talking through today, because we do have strong winds across the state. So we are asking our customers to review and update their contact information with PNM at pnm.com or by calling us at 1-888-DIAL-PNM. Of course, also signing up for outage alerts by texting hashtag REG to 78766 and then hashtag alert, ALERT, to 78766 on the phone number associated with your account. If you do not get notice of a power outage that is due to a public safety power shutoff, please report any outages to pnm.com/outage or by texting REG 78766 and then hashtag out to 78766. Finally, we always encourage folks to be prepared by creating an outage plan with food, water, and resources would we need a power outage or should there be a power outage, and ensuring you have backup power for any necessary medical equipment. So with that, Jeff, I will turn it back to you and open it up for other comments.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. We will have a Q&A session, but first I would like to, we have several invited guests, some of the partners we've been working on who may or may not be on the call. So I will say the name, and if you are on, please do turn on your camera and your microphone and address the crowd as well. First invited is Major General Miguel Aguilar, who's the Acting Cabinet Secretary for the New Mexico Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Is the General with us by any chance?
I'm on. Do you read me okay?
Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'll make my comments pretty brief. My name is Miguel Aguilar. I'm the Adjutant General for the New Mexico National Guard and the Secretary for the Homeland Security and Emergency Management. And I want to first start off by thanking the Public Service Company of New Mexico, their staff. We've been in constant coordination over the last few days, talking through this potential need to de-energize parts of the grid, as well as any other emergencies that could occur, and they've been absolutely forthright and transparent with us and all the local emergency managers, and certainly we appreciate that because it's a team effort when this many people are without power potentially, and so great job by them. Also, the city of Santa Fe, the Santa Fe County emergency managers, the city of Santa Fe's emergency manager, and the Bernalillo County emergency manager have been also working tirelessly over the last few days for the contingency and supporting the citizens in their communities in the event that they're without power. And so I'll tell you that they're as prepared as we can be. Certainly, there's contingencies that we can't prepare for this quickly. But they're going to work tirelessly, and I will tell you that the State Emergency Operations Center is on standby now, as well as several different National Guard assets in the event that we need to go out into the communities and support our local emergency managers. With that, I'll turn it back over to the moderator for additional guests.
Thank you, General Aguilar. We have also invited Ali Rai from the Department of Homeland Security and Energy Management. If Ali is with us and would like to speak, please turn your camera on and unmute your microphone.
Good morning, everyone. The General had quite a bit of the comments that I would have had as well. The thing that I would also like to echo is we are activated to a level 3, which is just to increase preparedness. That means that we are there supporting our community, like the General said, with any resources or questions that they may have. We've been doing daily contacts, not only with just the emergency managers that are being impacted, but all of the emergency managers around the state of New Mexico. So that way they are fully prepared to come in and help support their surrounding jurisdictions if need be. With that, I will turn it back over to you guys.
Thanks, Ali. Also invited is Jason Nuttall from the U.S. Forest Service Fire Director. If Mr. Nuttall is on the call, would you please turn on your camera and unmute your microphone? Okay, I'm getting indications that he is not with us. The we also have invited Jacqueline Waite, the Emergency Planning and Program Bureau Chief, New Mexico Energy Conservation and Management Division. Also not with us. And finally, Thomas Walmsley, Bernalillo County Emergency Management Director. Okay. Oh, yes, I do believe he is. So, sir, if you would turn on your camera and unmute your microphone, please.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having us here today. You know, as a county, we understand that these public safety power shutoffs are disruptive, and we really just appreciate the community's patience and in this as we work together through it. You know, our number one priority from the county is ensuring public safety, being able to maintain our emergency services, and keeping residents informed throughout this entire process. We recognize that these disruptions are going to be challenging. And one of our goals is to ensure that the residents have the information that they need to plan ahead. Our community centers that are going to be outside of the impacted area will remain open for residents needing a place to charge devices or access Wi-Fi. We're working closely with our public safety, our utility providers, our telecommunication providers, and community partners to minimize these disruptions and address the needs as they arise. As mentioned already, this PSPS, or Public Safety Power Shutoff, is a proactive measure taken by PNM to reduce the risk due to these extreme weather conditions. We understand they don't take this decision lightly, and we're here hand in hand with them to support them through the entire process. As far as our emergency response and resource coordination, our Emergency Operations Center is fully activated, and we will remain staffed throughout the entire outage. Our first responders, including the Bernalillo County Fire and Rescue and the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, are fully operational, ready to respond. We've done some increased staffing and have additional equipment staged as needed. As I mentioned, we're working and coordinating with all of the critical infrastructure partners throughout this, and this includes our healthcare facilities and our telecommunication providers. One of the biggest partners that we're working with right now is the Region 4 Healthcare Coalition. They're coordinating with all the medical care providers in the area, including those in the directly impacted area. As far as notifications go, in addition to the notifications that will be pushed out through PNM, we'll be sending out emergency alerts to residents in those impacted areas. This will include wireless emergency alerts and the use of the emergency broadcast system, which will be through our media partners. We'd really just like to thank everyone for the patience and understanding and cooperation during this. Again, the steps that you can take to prepare for disasters like this or incidents like this can go a long way to the impact. That's all I'll have. I can stand for questions later.
Thank you. We appreciate all of those comments from our partners with whom we have been working very hard, and they have been extremely supportive. So we really do extend our gratitude. With that, we can open it up to Q&A, and the process will be to please use the hand raise button that you can find in the bottom of the screen, and we will call on you, and at which point you can unmute. Please feel free to turn your camera on. I will turn mine off. Oh, actually, no, I'll keep it on. Sorry about that. Our first question is coming from Mike Anderson of KOB. Mike, if you want to unmute and pose your question.
Good morning. Yes, the question I have is, will all of the 4 APS schools in the East Mountains be shut off? And if so, what's the contingency for them?
For that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Omni Warner here at PNM.
Yeah, good morning. So I think the question was about the Arizona Public or APS schools that are in the East Mountains. They would be impacted by the power outage that is planned. I think each one of those schools are taking precautions themselves to manage, how they're going to manage through the course of the power outage.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to follow up. The San Antonito Elementary School officials, they do not know what to do. That was my understanding from a phone call we put in. So what is the communication plan for them? Do you have one in place in terms of how they will
Yes,
resume?
yes, we've been reaching out to critical customers and schools. We'll direct our team to reach out to San Antonio immediately to follow up on that. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
Patrick Loman, Source, New Mexico.
Next question is from Patrick Lohman of Source, New Mexico. Patrick, if you could unmute your microphone and pose your question, please.
Hi, just quickly, if you all do go forward with the PSPS, would it be the first time PNM has ever done this?
Patrick, you were a little quiet there. I think what you asked is, would this be the first time PNM has ever issued a public safety power shutoff? And the answer to that is yes. The next question is from Luis Apodaca of Telemundo. Luis, if you would unmute your microphone and pose your question, please.
Hello, yes, good afternoon. Thank you for this press conference. My question, are you able to hear me correctly? Okay, my question is, it was mentioned that this was going to be planned at 12 p.m. Do we know until when you guys are going to have this shut off?
You're asking us if we can estimate a time of restore, and I will turn that over to one of my colleagues, but I will say that at this moment, whatever estimated restoration time we offer is very much subject to change based on wind conditions and potential damage and other factors that we can't predict from this moment. But I'm gonna ask Omni to step back on.
Yeah, this is Omni again. So our estimated outage duration is through 6 p.m. on Friday. We have crews staged in the field, and then we will be updating those outage durations based on assessments and damage that is identified in the field.
Thanks, Luis. Our next question is from Bianca Hoops. And Bianca, I know we met, but when you come on, would you please identify the news outlet with which you are affiliated, please?
So Bianca Hoops from KRQE. My question would be specifically, I'm in the East Mountains right now, so excuse me being in my car. Is there I know that there is a certain wind gust happening in, both Las Vegas, Santa Fe, and all these other places. Was it that just the East Mountains was a higher wind, gust happening that, PNM decided to pursue the public safety power shutoff?
Thanks, Bianca. It's a great question. I'm going to ask Mike to address that.
Hey, thank you for the question. So wind is just one of the parameters that we consider in this decision process in determining the risk. Wind does also exacerbate other risk factors, so that can make a situation that is more dry to make it worse. But certainly wind and wind gusts and the duration of those wind gusts and the threat they pose to the infrastructure itself and the threat of wildfire risk overall are all considered as factors before a determination is made. So it is one of many factors, but does play a significant role.
Thanks, Mike. Next question is from the Albuquerque Journal. We don't have a reporter name affiliated with that, but if you'd like to unmute and identify yourself by name.
Hi there, my name is Nikayla, and I'm a reporter from the Albuquerque Journal. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can, yes.
Great. So my question is, if do you guys expect any substantial damage to any of the power lines? And if that's true, do you think that that's going to further delay re-energizing the grids?
Good question. I'm going to turn that over to Omni to address.
Yeah, so we are preemptively turning the system off so that if there is any damage, there is no ignition source. There could be damage, And if damage is identified on the poles, then, or on any of our infrastructure, then we will be updating the outage durations. Those will be updated on our outage map at pnm.com. So we encourage customers to go to that frequently to get the most up-to-date information on the outage duration.
Thank you, Omni. Next question is from Nick Gilmore with the Santa Fe, New Mexican.
Hi, yeah, Nick Gilmore, Santa Fe, New Mexican. So I've heard in the past that, you know, PNM's goal for communicating these shutoffs is like kind of like a 2 days in advance. And obviously this was, you know, a lot less of advance warning, but is that realistic for weather situations like this to be able to give advance notice, you know, 2 days before, or is this timeline kind of more what we can expect with public safety power shutoffs?
That's a great question, Nick. Thank you. As mentioned earlier, this is our first PSPS, or will be our first PSPS. And it is a goal to provide 48 hours notice, but I would underscore the word goal. Every one of these situations, if more were to occur, will be unique. The situations, the available weather forecasts, the stability of systems coming in, changing data, all factor into our ability to gauge when the appropriate time is to reach out to customers with a strong and fairly decisive message. We're navigating that as we go, but we erred toward really trying to provide as much advanced notification as we possibly could. And in this case, that was, as you know, that was yesterday. So when we first started pushing out notifications to customers and talking to the media. The next question is from, sorry, do we have another question? Julia Goldberg with Source New Mexico, if you would unmute and pose your question, please.
Thank you. Can you discuss if there are any other factors playing into the decision to call for a PSPS for the first time? For example, we've heard concerns about cuts to firefighters and wildfire resources. Has that played into this decision?
Yeah, I'm going to ask Mike to address your question. Thanks, Julia.
Yeah, thank you. Good question. So yes, there are a number of factors that are included, not the least of which are things like wind, fuel content, moisture levels, humidity, a number of both weather factors and factors that relate to the system in terms of if the condition of the assets, the status of the vegetation management in the area, as well as any potential critical infrastructure that's located on the proposed public safety power shutoff. So those are absolutely factored in, and ultimately we then make the determination to really, again, this is purely about safety and safety of the communities. So that's really, again, we don't take that decision lightly, and it's one that we evaluate continuously until we can make a definitive determination. So yes, we do consider a number of factors as well.
Thanks, Mike. Next question is from Julian Paras of KOAT.
Hey guys, thanks. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so I'm Julian Powers with KOAT. Wanted to just touch base again. You guys mentioned this is the first time you guys are doing these shutoffs. Is the East Mountains the only area that will be expecting these? I know you mentioned that Santa Fe, Cochiti, Las Vegas may not be as likely.
At this time for this weather event, yes, the East Mountains is the only area where we are moving towards implementing a PSPS at noon. We have other areas throughout our system that we consider to be high fire risk areas. And in the future, based on weather patterns, we may have to consider doing one of these in those areas as well. So in addition to the ones we've talked about today, also communities in southern New Mexico, including Ruidoso and Silver City. We have been communicating with customers there as well with the same preparedness and awareness messaging.
last follow-up question to this: with the announcements that you guys have sent out to customers just to let them know ahead of time, what has the response been like from them? If you can give us any insight on what people are talking to you guys, how they're reacting to this.
Well, I think there's a mix. As we mentioned, we certainly acknowledge that the decision to de-energize lines and cut service to a customer is one that we take very seriously and think very carefully about. And we recognize how valuable our service is to our customers. So of course, there are customers who are concerned. There are also many customers who are grateful for the advance notice and for our commitment to protecting the public safety. And the bottom line is that's what this is really all about. This is all about public safety.
Thanks so much.
Next question is from Santa Fe County. We don't have a name, but if you would unmute and identify yourself, please.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. My name is Olivia Romo, Public Information Officer for Santa Fe County. We have our team here this morning, and we just wanted to confirm when can we anticipate the next press release to be issued by you all regarding the outages?
We are anticipating either another media briefing like this later this afternoon or a press release with an update.
Perfect, thank you. And in regards to social media, we ask that you please tag the Santa Fe County local government page so we can also keep our constituents up to date with your posts, please.
Absolutely, yeah, we appreciate you helping us get that word out. We will make sure to tag you.
Thank you, sir, that's all.
I think this is the last question. Two more, sorry. Mike Anderson of KOB again.
Yeah, logistically, can you send out the name and title, correct spelling of all the people that talked earlier? I know we had like Major General Aguilar. I got his title at Ali. I didn't get hers, etc. So just logistically on that, Mr. Mertz didn't get your title, but we understand PNM.
Yeah.
But a follow-up question, kind of big picture. I think the reality is 20 years of wildfires in New Mexico, and we're seeing California. You say this is the first time you all are doing this. Obviously, I'm asking, is this in reaction to lawsuits that have been filed and knowing that these incidences where not necessarily PNM lines, but lines in general have started fires that have destroyed houses, Los Alamos, etc. Is this why you all are doing this? And not only is it just in the moment, but big picture, just being proactive and making sure that we don't burn New Mexico down. Is this a switch in attitude from power companies nationwide, and PNM in particular, towards how weather events are going to be handled going forward? Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Yep. I would repeat, this is about protecting the public safety from the risk of a wildfire in severe conditions. And there is growing awareness in changing weather conditions that have become more severe over the years. And the industry in general, particularly utilities operating in the West, where there are higher risks of wildfires, are adopting this as a best practice in the event that it becomes necessary to protect public safety. I'll invite Mike Mertz to come back on and follow on to that.
Yeah, thank you. What I would just like to reinforce is, as Jeff already noted, the underlying factor is safety and safety of our customers and our communities. So that is paramount. But a public safety power shutoff is just one of many tools that we utilize and leverage. We have a significant amount of wildfire mitigation underway. We have a number of practices. Some we can implement faster than others. So we are making substantial investments in our infrastructure to harden the infrastructure to be more resilient, not just for wildfire, but for any extreme weather event. So we have a number of practices, including things like our processes around managing vegetation or any other items that might come into contact with our power lines. We are also implementing and moving forward with our grid modernization program that was approved not too long ago by the Public Regulation Commission that will give us enhanced monitoring and sensing capabilities for each customer's home and understanding the exact status, as well as enhanced ability to have more sectionalization or more granularity on the system so that we can ensure that if we ever have to implement a public safety power shutoff, that we can limit it to only the areas that are the highest risk, and we can be as precise as we can to minimize the impact to our customers. So again, PSPS and a public safety power shutoff plan is something that is new to us, but it is part of a larger set of an overall wildfire mitigation program that is underway and will continue for the coming years as well.
Thanks, Mike. The next question is from Natasha with KKOB. Natasha, if you would unmute and pose your question, please.
Of course. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Natasha Leba with KKOB. I just wanted to go back for a second. Of course, you said this was just going to affect the East Mountains. Can you give us a number of how many residents? And sorry if you've already done that.
It's approximately 10,000 customers that would be affected.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, you bet. Next question is from, I believe it says Juno or Jono. I can't
It's
quite
Juno.
read my handwriting. Sorry, Juno.
That's okay.
Apologies.
Juno Ogle with the Silver City Daily Press. Mike Mertz spoke earlier about shutting off the system that would automatically re-energize lines so that you guys could physically inspect them before turning power back on. Is that being done just in the areas you're talking about today, or is that throughout the entire system where we might expect some small power outages here in southern New Mexico?
Thanks, Juno. I'm going to ask Omni to address your question.
Yeah, so we've actually disabled our reclosing in the Rio Clayton areas as well. Both those areas are also under red flag warning. So that's one of the inputs we would use to disable our reclosing on our system.
Okay, thank you. And if I could ask a quick follow-up question or second question.
Of course.
For those who do not have PNM accounts because, say, their landlords pay the utilities, how can those folks get alerts when these shutoffs are going to happen?
Yeah, without a PNM account, they won't be able to sign up for automatic alerts. However, we do direct those customers to pnm.com where we have an outage map where they can get the latest outage information and any other alert messaging that we post on a banner there. And additionally, during outages and particularly during an event like this, we are very actively updating our social media channels, Facebook particularly. So, and throughout this event, we will be making very frequent updates with outage information and status, restoration status, et cetera. So that's what we would recommend to folks who utilize our service but do not have PNM accounts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I believe that is all of our questions. So as you might imagine, we have a fair amount of work to do. We're going to release our colleagues here to get back to their crews and get ready to make sure that this event, if it goes forward smoothly and we can restore power to all of our customers as quickly as safely possible. We will send out a recap after this meeting to everybody who's been invited. So that will include titles and correct spellings of names. And we will also announce in that recap when our next update will be coming and in what form. Appreciate everybody taking the time, and I appreciate you helping us spread the word out to our customers to help them stay safe during this event. Thank you very much.